Welcome back to our YouTube channel. I got an interesting topic today that many clients ask me about, and that is why do some charges qualify for diversion and others don't? Well, first of all, let's talk about diversion, or the Direct Accountability Program in Ontario. What that is that? So basically, this is a program where someone's been charged with a criminal offense, and we're diverting it out of the criminal system so they don't wind up with a criminal record. They have to accept responsibility, sign a form accepting responsibility, and they must do something in return for agreeing to this. Ultimately, the charge gets withdrawn or stayed. It's typically withdrawn. It stays tantamount to the same thing, by the way. So what are diversion? You'll do things such as counseling, for example, community service done, donations and things like that. So why does the Crown only accept some charges for this? So first of all, we're looking a lot, there's sort of a laundry list of things that qualify for diversion in the province, first of all, and it's more minor criminal offenses. Let's look at a theft under shoplifting, for example. A minor assault not involving an intimate partner or your wife or husband, for example, or boyfriend or girlfriend, causing a disturbance, mischief under where you damage property, a small-scale fraud, for example, low amounts of money. So in other words, think of minor criminal charges. And first of all, when the Crown's considering offering diversion, which is often negotiated by your criminal defense counsel, by the way, they look at a real laundry list of things too. Like typically, it's a person with no prior criminal record. They've been a good person their whole life. It's not a serious offense. They're looking at particular circumstances. They may be getting victim impact too from the victim if it's an assault, for example, but it's not ultimately up to the victim though, but the Crown often consults with the victim. And they're looking whether, well, is the public safety compromised here if we put this first-time offender, give them diversion, give them a chance to rehabilitate themselves? We're saving court resources, trial time, and there's hundreds, if not thousands, of charges, minor cases that get diverted for first-time offenders. Could a second-time offender qualify for diversion? Well, technically, probably not. If you've got a prior criminal record, the Crown might consider it in exceptional circumstances. We also have what's called diversion for Indigenous people. We've got resources and courts set up for Indigenous people who can qualify sometimes for more a wide spectrum of some little slightly more serious offenses. And we also have mental health courts where people who have mental health issues, drug court, etc., we are getting them rehabilitated. We might get them into a treatment program if they successfully do that, counseling and whatnot, and divert certain types of offenses. But clearly, it's more minor offenses in most incidents, very rare exceptions, perhaps for Indigenous on more exceptional, and mental health perhaps on more serious. But when you're looking at the spectrum of offenses like firearms, by the way, impaired driving, no, not allowed to divert impaired driving in Ontario, even a first-time impaired driving, murder, large-scale fraud, sexual assault. Clearly, the public needs protection, and we need to deter this type of crime. So it's, diversion is completely inappropriate. Each Crown in each county is going to take a different approach to this, but all the counties have a laundry list of this, but they're going to apply it to a particular case. Some counties are more stringent than others. But it's a great result in a criminal charge. If you get caught for shoplifting rather than pleading guilty in court, if you can get it diverted, it's kind of a get out of jail free card, isn't it? It gets swept under the carpet. But the Crown's going to look at each individual case very carefully. They're going to figure out whether it's part of the laundry list that they can apply, but they're going to look at your individual circumstances, again, your criminal record, do we need to protect the public, etc. And by the way, typically domestic assault, we take a very harsh position in the province, that is the Crown attorneys, and typically that's not eligible for diversion for important reasons, of course, because sometimes if a husband or a wife gets diverted and rehabilitated, they go home, the violence could continue. So we need to send a bigger message on that, at least the Crown attorneys and the courts send a bigger message. Now, sometimes occasionally in very minor domestic assaults, sometimes peace bonds are offered after counseling. that's an assessment of each case. So, but the bottom line is domestic violence or intimate partner violence is very taken seriously. Obviously, sexual assault, these more serious crimes, diversion is completely unacceptable for that. That's how the courts look at it and the Crown attorneys. So the takeaway from this is that if you have a minor criminal charge, you should retain a lawyer. That lawyer is going to try and negotiate with the Crown to get you diversion if it's a first offense, assuming you're guilty, of course. You must accept responsibility, but the great news is you won't wind up with a criminal record. You can start fresh in your life and not get in trouble again, hopefully. That's the hope. I mean, the Crown's assessing whether you're a person who can be rehabilitated versus whether the public needs to be protected from you. Public safety, obviously, deterrence, deterring others and you is paramount, but many people can be rehabilitated. I have found over the years that hundreds of my clients over the years who've received diversion, I've never seen them again. They've never been in trouble again. It was a one-time shoplifting, a one-time minor assault. Maybe they got in an altercation at a bar, for example, or one-time small-scale fraud. People do learn their lesson. We don't always need to punish and be punitive with people. Sometimes people deserve a second chance. This is what diversion is all about. It does work in the province, and it's really great for our court system because it's very overburdened. And if we had all of these cases going to trial in our court, the courts would be absolutely crippled. We wouldn't be able to move. So there you have it. That's the takeaway on diversion. It's important if you're charged with one of these offenses to consider, at least try to get diversion if it's not completely defendable. That is, if you're guilty and will accept responsibility. It's been great seeing you today on this video, and we'll see you next time. And if you have enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching our video. We are absolutely committed to bringing you the best possible criminal and DUI educational videos. If you found this video helpful, please like it and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you've been charged with a criminal offense in Ontario and require our services, please click on the link in the description below.